where that press briefing is occurring. These are the adoptive parents of Harmony Montgomery's sister, brother that is Jamison.
Yep.
Let's listen
The
in.
reality is that Adam Montgomery will stay in prison till at least being 118 years old, and that works. That's where he belongs. And so we're thankful to the judge, we're thankful to the Attorney General's office, and thankful to everyone who's been very supportive to us this week on behalf of our son Jameson.
Today, we looked evil in the eye. We saw the person that took our son's sister away. Today, this ends in the courtroom, and we're glad that monster is put away forever. But today doesn't end for her son. He's still going to ask, what happened to my sister? Where is she at? Why did someone hurt her? And those are going to be really tough questions that we have to ask, that we have to answer. We want to thank this community. Harmony became everyone's daughter, everyone's sister. And without the support of all of you, this community, the police, this justice system, justice would not have been served today. But it was. And this is not a celebration for us. But we can tell Jameson that the monster was put away forever today. And we can never replace his sister. But we can tell him that he can't hurt anyone else.
I know that we've long talked about this case, but the reality is, unfortunately, if there was another Harmony Montgomery today, another Harmony Montgomery could still happen. We certainly, all this needed to happen, but we also need to look at what's happening when it comes to child welfare and to make sure this does not happen again, whether it's the state of Massachusetts, New Hampshire, or any state in this country. And that has always been something that we are committed to on behalf of our son, but also on behalf of Harmony. So that's what we look forward to next, is change happening, but we certainly are pleased with what happened here today.
So you're advocating for in Massachusetts for this Harmony Commission. I don't know if you've been given an update. Are you pleased or not pleased with the pace of moving that forward?
Absolutely not, because what's changed to stop another Harmony Montgomery today? This is so much about Harmony and Jameson, but this is also about so many of the most other vulnerable children, and they're all of our responsibility that we have to protect them. This was preventable. That she was beat in a car. When we all heard all the crimes that he had committed way before he got custody of Harmony, I looked at my husband and I said, how? How did he leave? How did Harmony leave such a loving home and her foster family? How was she not kept with her brother and living with us today? How were they ripped apart? And that has to change because it could save these children's lives.
I think the biggest thing we ask is, what is it going to take to create the change? Because we've met with lawmakers. We've spoken with governor's offices. We've spoken with lawmakers in Washington. What is it going to take? There's already been a child that has been killed in a manner that none of us can even imagine. What will it take to create the change? And this should have been in place days after.
Jameson always ends most things when he talks about his sister, and he says, I love you, big sister. And we let him know that even though she can't tell him, she loves him too.
Blair, what is that in your left hand there, though?
Jameson's mom, Crystal, gave this to us today to give to Jameson. And it has a picture of Harmony on the other side of it, which is very important to Jameson. It's very important to us. It's very important to our son that he knows Harmony's story, and he knows his story with her as well, and that doesn't get lost. Sadly, we have too many of these things that remind us of the tragedy and not the celebrations that should still exist. And so it's so sweet, but it's also so tragic.
Today is not a celebration for us. It's just I think we want to get home and hug our 3 boys and tell them how much we love them and how lucky we are to be their dads.
I also want to say one other thing. If you look back over there, you see officers of the Manchester Police Department. And I can't imagine what it's been like for them to deal with the realities of this. And we are so thankful for the law enforcement, the first responders, the people who kept this in the public eye, the people who have listened, the people who've been searching. Just inside, people were telling us about the searches they're still doing. And that matters, and we are thankful. We know our son is, that will be the bright spot for him when he turns 15, 20, 25, goes down a rabbit hole of what's happened in his life. The bright spot in this will be those who've been out there fighting for Harmony and fighting for him.
You and I have a really hard time processing these details. They're stomaching to hear the gruesome things Adam did to his own daughter, our son's sister, Harmony. But is what Jamison will never forget is every helper, every police officer, whether that's at the local level or the federal level. That it's for every person in this community that shared her story. It's for everyone that fought and continue to fight to bring her home. And we hope one day that she's found. So he has a place. Crystal, their mom, has a place to go and remember her. They should have that right.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.